All right, welcome, everyone. This is the July 14th Seneca County IDA meeting. We have a quorum and would like to begin with the approval of the last meeting's minutes. Is there a motion to approve the minutes?
So moved.
Adam, thank you. A second?
I'll second.
Marie, is there any discussion on last meeting's minutes? Hearing none. All in favor of approving the minutes?
Aye.
Any opposed? Thank you, the minutes have passed. Next up, financial statements. Bob, you would.
I'll be using the summary sheet to my reference point. These numbers are as again May 31st, 2026. Looking at the balance sheet, our total checking and savings accounts measure $2,886,000. Notes receivable current portion was $36,000. Lease receivable short-term $0. Accounts receivable $0. Total current assets $2,923,000. Notes receivable long-term $99,304. Total fixed assets net of depreciation $256,000. Other assets $94,000. Total assets $3,373,000. That's a decrease of $38,000 from our position at the end of April. Looking at the liability side, accounts payable $0, credit card $0, labor and compliance pass-through $2,055. Pilot program, $9,028. Net pension liability, $132,000. PIF deposits held, $33,000. Total current liabilities, $176,000. Deferred revenue, $0. Deferred inflows on leases, $0. Due to other governments, $17,000. Total equity, $3,179,000. Total liabilities and equity, $3,373,000. Again, equals the asset base as well. And there was a net change between May and April of $38,315. The overall P&L total ordinary income was $53,000. Total ordinary expenses $222,000. A net ordinary loss in this case of $168,000. Total other income $0. Total other expenses $0. Net income loss for the period $168,917. Comparing that to April position, that's an increase in the loss of $14,000. Looking at the makeup of the ordinary income, agency fees were $26,747. Seneca County $0. Rent and lease income $0. RFL income $1,446. Interest income $25,000. Property sales $0. Miscellaneous income $0. Total ordinary income $53,373. Comparing that to the April position, which was $26,495. That's an increase of $26,000 for the month of May. The majority of that increase was in agency fees receiving Scepter and Finger Lakes rail payments in the month of May. On the expense side, payroll was $97,000, benefits $67,000, professional services $33,000, general office expense $2,400, administrative and tech $8,000, insurance $1,200, miscellaneous expense $30,000, travel and conference $2,100, repairs and maintenance $9,700. Marketing and promotion $0, depreciation expense $0, RFL expense $0, total ordinary expenses through the end of May $222,290. That's an increase of $41,191 over our April 2026 position. Again, that's a summary makeup of both balance sheet and the profit and loss statement for the period ending May 31st.
Questions for Bob? All right, Thank you, Bob. I'll entertain a motion to accept the financial statements through May.
Motion to. Second.
All in favor of accepting the financial statements through May of 26, say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? We've approved the financial statements. Next item on the agenda is the discussion of a proposed agreement between the IDA and the Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council. So do you want to take everyone through the background there?
Sure. So you all may remember we had a special board meeting back in March and approved a resolution for the IDA to contribute at that time $15,000 toward a comprehensive plan for the village of Ovid. What you have before you, I guess I would see it as more of an amended resolution. So it's still for the same amount, $15,000. But as we've gotten into the specifics of negotiating contracts, there are state statutory complications and requirements in that the IDA cannot loan or grant its own funds. So we can't just, pay $15,000 to the village of Ovid to help them, pay the bill for the comp plan. And because comprehensive plans under state law are municipal functions and are also regulated, they're not comfortable with us contracting directly with the Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council to pay for part of the comp plan directly. And so what we have negotiated with both parties instead is covered in this resolution, which is essentially for us to help contract with the Regional Planning Council to have them help prep for a New York Forward application for the Village of Ovid. So the same work is still going to be done because the comprehensive plan is one of the necessary steps in submitting a New York Forward application. And a lot of the work that they do as part of that can actually be input directly into the various portions of the application. But we're sort of officially decoupling ourselves from the comprehensive plan, but not from the overall vision of trying to move Ovid forward.
So our money's gonna go to the regional commission and then to Ovid?
No, not to Ovid at all, technically.
Doesn't go to Ovid at all. We are retaining the expertise of the Regional Planning Commission to advise on the preparation of a New York Forward grant application, which is coming through the LDC at Ovid. Some of the background here is that like many small rural communities, there's not a lot of experience with state grant applications. And in this case, the IDA stepped in and helped with the overall process in a way where it would not have happened unless the board here agreed to support this part of the effort. So this is a exercise, but for the IDA's involvement would not have happened. There was a meeting, the Ovid Comp Plan Steering Committee and the Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council's consultant, a lady by the name of Jenny Lowenstein, have held two meetings. There was a kickoff meeting back in June. Last week there was a second meeting. There were 60 people from this very small community that showed up to talk about comp plans. You would have expected there would have been pitchforks related to the notion of zoning. There were none, really. We had a very engaged, very constructive bunch of new faces saying, we want to make this happen. We want to see this through. And so, at least thus far, everything seems to be proceeding as you would want. It's a surprisingly positive process so far. And the IDA, you guys, have helped make that happen. So it's at this point it will be, I believe, funding that will ultimately result in real economic development in that part of the county. There's a lot going on down there. The county's pitching in. with another consultant. The timing is just really good right now.
Is there any cooperation yet between the owners of the property toward this end?
So good question, Ralph. The fire on January 25th or January 25 knocked out 5 businesses. The Ovid LDC has been focusing on the grocery store property. A local resident who's both a general contractor as well as a plumbing contractor decided he would buy 3 of the properties on the lot and rebuild them with a plan of commercial storefronts on the ground floor, sandwich shops, laundromats, Mexican restaurants, and residential upstairs. So at least at this point, we've seen someone come forward from the local community to say, I understand, the size of the project, and I'm ready to undertake a piece of it. One of the other the big parcel, the grocery parcel, apparently one of the other landowners involved in that fire has filed a negligence suit against the grocery store owner. So that whole parcel is kind of frozen at the moment. And it may turn out that there are better places to put a grocery store than where it was before. And this comp plan process and then the county's general redevelopment study those are all gonna come to fruition before the end of the year. And the Ovid LDC either will buy that lot that's in the center of the village or some other piece really within close proximity. So voting to approve this has so far yielded positive results. And this is really to make sure that we're actually contracting in the right way with the right organization. Questions?
So just so that I'm sure that 15,000 is going to the Genesee Finger Lakes Regional Planning Council,
Correct.
and then they are using it to help Ovid.
Correct.
Okay.
Advise the Ovid LDC on a New York Forward $4.5 million grant application.
So then this resolution is just to amend what we previously discussed to interject them.
No, so they were involved in the first resolution. This is just so that everybody here is aware that instead of us having specific language about paying for a comp plan, this is about us paying for consulting services related to preparing for a grant application.
Okay, so the end result is
So
the
the
same.
parties
The wording
aren't
in the
changing.
middle is
The end result is really the same. It's just to make sure that you all are aware of that technical change that we're making.
And this is just an amendment to that, is what we're
Yes.
considering this?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah, we're not committing ourselves to now paying 30,000 or anything like that.
gotcha.
Okay, is there a motion to accept or to approve the resolution?
So moved.
For a second?
Second.
Kelly, would you like to? call the roll?
Mr. Bruce Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Cure,
Yes.
Mr. Heisen,
Yes.
Miss Weiss,
Yes.
Mr. Shipley,
Yes.
Mr. Lott,
Yes.
Mr. Tom Murray,
Yes.
Mr. Guthrie,
Yes.
motion carried. Miss Capelli absent, motion carried.
Thank you. Next on the agenda is Jeff, your update.
Okay, first, more letters of support came in than we were even anticipating for the support of the business principles and personal finance class to be offered in local schools. So, and thank you to those of you on this board that have sent those in. We appreciate that. So that initiative will be moving forward now for a meeting with the local schools to see if we can make this happen. The small business community awards are going to be presented tomorrow night from the Chamber of Commerce. We have 5 categories, if you will, of small business awards. So that's tomorrow night at Seneca Lake Resorts. We are looking forward to a good time, hopefully not as hot as today. The Civics Bee, I think the last time I was here, we gave you a little bit of a wrap up of the Civics Bee. We held the regional Civics Bee. 3 finalists went on from our region to compete at the state finals. Sadly, none of the 3 of them moved forward to the Washington, D.C. national finals. But our Civics Bee received a lot of attention at that event. And in the follow-up of that event, and so we got some really great coverage for the school. There was one school, actually, it was a charter school in Geneva that sent all 3 finalists on from our region. So we got some really great exposure for the event in Albany. Great to see. Speaking of great exposure, we got a big win about a week ago, I think. It was an earned media public relations win on the tourism front. There's a big article written in Condé Nast, the Condé Nast publication, about canoeing the Erie Canal. And so this was a press trip that we hosted last fall, where we brought a travel writer down. She canoed our portion of the Erie Canal, which is the Seneca-Cayuga Canal. And she set in, we worked with a number of businesses along our canal front, including the Waterloo Finger Lakes KOA campground. And they set her up with a canoe and overnight accommodations. It was a really big story win for us. Lots of great exposure. That kind of exposure and that type of a publication gets us noticed and gets us on the radar. So that was a great win. Speaking of the Erie Canal, today, actually, I'm leaving here to go help set up, is the Cycle the Erie event, the annual event that brings anywhere from 600 to 700 people into our community for overnight. And it's always the hottest day of the year, by the way. So I do not know that I'd want to be bicycling from this leg they're biking in from Rochester, Fairport, I think. And they're going to be in Seneca Falls. So our office has been, for the last probably month, getting the community ready, asking businesses to stay open, see about extra staffing for some of the restaurants. This event would not be here if not for the Chamber of Commerce and the TPA. A couple years ago, they had put it out for bid to go elsewhere, and we convinced them otherwise. Working with the town of Seneca Falls, the community center in Seneca Falls, the team was really, really outstanding, banded together to save this event. So that one is pretty special to us at the Chamber. We will, for our part, we're going to be hosting a wine and cheese reception for them tonight. So we're looking forward to that. And then the last thing is the Chamber will be presenting tonight to the Board of Supervisors for our regular TPA report. So that's what we have.
Any questions for Jeff?
Any updates on the building?
Yes, thank you. Building. So anybody that's driven by that 318, 414 corner has probably seen by now the structure is up. Has a fully functioning roof that's also been established, been put on it. So the next stage right now is siding and windows will be installed, and then all the fun work begins with the inside and getting that spec'd out.
Target date for completion?
So I'm still holding to about the first of the year, January, because there is a lot of coordination that still has to happen with NYSEG and the utilities and then the water and sewer. So I believe the building will be done much sooner than that, obviously, but I think before we can move in ready, it's going to be pushing the first of the year.
Thank you, Jeff.
Yes.
Bob, updates on the Board of Supervisors.
Update, nothing too exciting going on tonight. We have a meeting tonight, but just regular bookkeeping stuff. They are gonna pass the solid waste management plan, which is a state requirement. But I don't even know what's really in that. It's just a requirement to keep us happy. with Seneca Meadows probably here for another 30 years. I don't know. What would he just sell a waste management plant for? So anyway,
All right, questions for Bob?
Are you saying that you think that it is extended now that they're gonna be
I
here?
don't know. What you're looking at.
Yeah, I thought I was hearing it here first.
No, you weren't here.
David,
Yes, sir.
on your deck here.
Right. We mixed it up a little more this month. Actually, several of you participated in one that I did this month, was the galvanizing plant, which I heard was a big hit. Right?
Yeah, when you're done, we'll talk about that.
Okay, wonderful. I hope Earl was a good host. I'm sure he was.
He sure was.
Yeah, he was great last time I was there. Yeah, it's been good. Most of the businesses, I did hear one maybe exciting prospect, but again, it's one of those things like it's a dream and maybe I'll do it, you know, because I always ask them like, hey, if you had all the money in the world, what would you build? You know, and you know, why not? And there was some interesting things out of some people for expanding their businesses, but generally people just complaining about the fuel costs and the same old labor costs and things of that nature. But I haven't heard anything. So I use language like, you know, that it's kind of remained, or they're remaining optimistic, things like that, for future projects. But unfortunately, I haven't hit pay dirt or anything like that. But I guess that's not what BRE is. It's supposed to just establish relationships, stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
so far so good. It was definitely a good month for BRE outreach. I hope to continue to capitalize on it.
All right.
So
we went,
have you heard anything about the Lutz sale?
I heard it's going up for auction.
It's going up for auction, and I've heard that there's a couple of people looking at it for making apartments out of it, sort of like the Huntington did.
It'd be probably a good idea.
I don't know. I just was.
I haven't heard anything of that sort. We saw the article in the paper that I'm sure everybody else saw about it going up for auction, but that's
Yeah.
all we've.
I see they're sprucing it all up over there. New lines in the parking lot. And
Oh, they did a lot of work on that place.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've
Well,
been working on it for a
I think the
while.
paper said they'd done $2.3 million on the inside fixing it up. So I don't know.
They were there for a couple of years doing it.
Yeah,
There might not be anything left to incentivize. They've done so much work, right?
who knows?
Who would like to speak about our visit to Earl Martin's facility? Ben, you were there?
I was totally impressed. It was a master class in understanding the dairy industry and the manufacturing industry and international relations with steel production. It was breathtaking. And the many complications of Seneca County and NYSEG getting gas and electricity into that facility, and how he could sit there for 6 years with this huge plant that he built, waiting for NYSEG to get off their ass and put a gas line in there. It's just amazing. But he's done it. He, in my estimation, he's up on the genius level as far as a business person, and he really seems to be making it work. And the fact that he's doing $50 million a year in our community, that makes him a big player. And at the same time, he's just so unassuming. I mean, he's just standing there in his flannel shirt going, "Oh, shucks, this is what we're doing." So it's really something. Can I just say one thing? The other thing is about Earl. I've known him since he was a little kid. He, midnight schools to the 8th grade, then he went to Miners Academy, him and his sister. But he has never gone on beyond, I think he went there through the 11th grade. I don't think he graduated as a senior. Yeah. No college experience. Like you said, he is a genius. Yeah. And it's just what he has done there, and even the place in Fayette before he moved down where he is now. Just unbelievable what he's done. Yeah, if anyone's gone through the Curtis Wright Museum in Hammondsport and you hear the history of what Glenn Curtis did, it sounded very parallel. You know, he started out doing bicycles in 1900 on his family farm, and by 1950 he was designing jet engines in Hammondsport. So,
You know, I didn't know anything about his background. Apparently his dad was in the welding business.
Mhm.
And he,
His dad's still in business.
Yeah, he
But
is.
It's a stretch to call it a welding business.
Okay, well,
Earl, Clarence is if it's profitable,
He's
Clarence
in
is into it.
well,
His
Earl-
first-
Earl got-
His first stalls were bent around a tree.
okay.
And he also, something you probably don't know, and neither
I'm
will
sure I
Kenny,
don't.
He finances a bunch of the Amish farms in the south end of this county. Clarence does.
Clarence does.
Yeah.
He
And
finances
so-
them.
Finance them. Yep, he'll help them buy the farm. If they need equipment, if they need animals, he'll finance that end of it. That's the reason somebody there asked Earl, where his money came from. They have deep pockets way back into Pennsylvania, New Holland
Yeah.
farm equipment.
Yeah.
Their family was the originator of all of that line.
Started.
So
Yeah.
they're
Very enterprising
Yes.
family. Lot of,
It was
Right.
eye-opening because a lot of it, like I said, I've known Earl since he was a little kid, and to hear what he told us there the other day was very interesting.
I've worked for two people that were really, Earl reminded me of two people I worked with once. One was a guy that's theoretically, and many people think invented the internet back in the early 60s. I mean, way out in front of a lot of other people. A lot of it seems pie in the sky, what Earl was telling us was because he makes dairy equipment for dairy operations, but he's eventually would like to build are AI-enabled dairy systems, all self-contained, where cows produce maximum amount of milk because they have to stand up 14 times a day. And the cows, if they're not standing up 14 times a day, get shooken up to stand up again. They've got ventilation systems, feeding. It's all somewhere up in Earl's head. Very impressive. The other guy I worked for that was the same way was Elon Musk, where he was saying he was going to put people on Mars back in 1995. I think, really? Is that really something you're going to do? And very impressive guy with very, very impressive ambitions, I would say. And by the way, he's got 100,000 square foot building there right now. He says he's got plans to build another 2 of them. So it would be 300,000 square feet to construct these animal production facilities, self-contained, end to end. If you go to his website today, he's selling stalls and brackets. Okay, well, it's a long haul from stalls and brackets to something that big, but I wouldn't, if you saw what we saw, it was very, very impressive. And we talk about the people that he may employ, it could be hundreds up there, not just in the manufacturing, but then they have to be installed.
And
They're
maintained.
and maintained.
And that's high tech. I mean,
Well, we didn't see the high-tech stuff yet. We saw some of the lower-tech stuff.
we did, yeah, the manufacturing, but he was talking about, he's got a division where they are designing the electronic circuits and the software to manage these big 1,000-herd farms. And when he was talking about having the blue whale out in the middle of the pasture and how AI didn't like it when you told them, no, there is no blue whale there. And I'm thinking, that's,
It was a grand vision, let's say, and it's something we don't see often enough in this region. And people had a lot of griping about the whole deal with the depot. He's really made something happen there. He really has. So
well,
anyway,
and in a way, the IDA placed its bet on him, and that's paying off.
yes. Anyway, it was really time well spent. I mean, he was very proud of what he did too, so he was happy, rightfully so. And so we were there for 3 hours, and very impressive.
3 hours of his time is very valuable.
All right, anything else, David?
No, that's all I have. You can, with the conclusion, it's pretty broad, on purpose.
Okay. Sarah, other business?
The only thing I want to mention is the ACT Work Keys Initiative, which we're still working on with our surrounding counties, FLCC and Wing Finger Lakes BOCES, just as a refresher for everybody that is meant to be a workforce assessment tool to help employers sort of streamline their hiring process, to help vet candidates more easily, a way for candidates to express their skills more coherently to potential employers. And then also a way, once we have enough data, to identify where our workforce may be performing really well or may be lacking, and where we should be looking to step in with additional training. A few of us on the staff have actually taken the assessment just to get an idea of what it was like. And I would still highly encourage board members, if you guys are interested, you know, many of you are employers or have been employers. We'd love to get your insights on it if you think that it's a worthwhile, you know, assessment and think that it could be a valuable tool. You know, we're looking for more people to help spread the word on that and get this more widely adopted by the business community.
So there are still going to be a couple more opportunities coming up?
Yes, we do have testing dates available. I don't have them offhand, but I do have a list. FLCC is proctoring it. It's a little less than 3 hours. It's a series of 3 assessments. Each one is about 55 minutes at most, but obviously, you know, if you're done sooner than that, you're done sooner than that. It's workplace documents, graphic literacy, and then there's a math one. I think it's applied mathematics or something like that. And it's, you know, they give you a formula sheet, so you're not having to remember way back to, you know, school testing or anything like that. You're sort of given the tools that you need to take the exam. It's really more about trying to couch things not in sort of an abstract way that sometimes school, you know, can do, and it's really trying to put it into an actual workforce perspective. So if anybody here is interested,
Yeah, I have a candidate. I need the dates again.
okay, I can send you those after the meeting.
Thanks.
Okay, do we need an executive session? Not that I'm aware of.
We do not.
Is there any other business? I would accept a motion to adjourn.
I have just a question.
Sure.
On Willard, has the county given up? I mean, that's the contact point, should be the county now. They're a new development agency, but are they doing anything with it?
The county proper is still the contact. Chairman Enslow is, as far as I know, the lead person in charge with Empire State
Not the new
Development.
county manager,
No.
because he's so overloaded.
I think that may be part of some of the challenges. He obviously has a lot of different, you know, things that he is juggling. County planning, who has also been involved with Empire State Development, has a lot that they're working on right now. Empire State Development, I think, has been a little bit slow. I mean, there have been deals with the other prisons in our area.
Do we know
like
how
Butler
much-
Correctional just finally transferred, and they've been sort of working on that for a while. So I don't think things are moving quickly.
Has there been any revelation how much money they sold Butler for?
That's a good question. I don't know that they can actually, I don't know if they actually sold Butler. Most of these prison sites, I'd have to try to look back at the newspaper and see if it was the same for Butler, but most of these prison sites, because of the way that the state financed them, they were all bonded for, and the state at one point consolidated all those bonds into one, and they had a hard time piecing out what debt service was still left on particular prison sites.
Sounds like.
And the state has some of their own statutory things about selling property, so it's very likely that Butler was transferred at no cost. But I'm not 100% certain on that. Back when we were involved, that was the expectation, is that would be what happened with Willard.
So, different topic, somewhat related, I guess, Ben.
Okay.
LDC. the county LDC. Is there any I have no idea if they've hired somebody, if they have a staff, but has there been any conversation about bringing their board together with this board to understand a little bit more about what they are looking at and how we complement each other?
Yes, we've had those conversations, Jeff. There would be an intent to get the two boards together, but no date has been set yet. But it's certainly a good idea.
And they do not have staff yet.
Okay.
They have been working, MRB Group has been providing contract services for them, but their board has really done a lot of the administration so far of that.
Anything else? Ben?
Do we have a tenant?
No.
Okay.
No, we had seemed like maybe a promising lead for a little bit, somebody that came in and was interested and haven't had any follow-up from them after what seemed to be a very enthusiastic conversation, but hard to tell if it's just that person's bearing naturally or if, they were really enthusiastic about this place. And Dave, you had something?
Yeah, she did follow up once and just said, I still like it, but my current landlord is renovating or something, and because she was upset. I think it was more of an emotional, hey, I'm gonna move out, and then change their mind later.
Stalking horse.
Yeah, so hopefully,
And have we heard anything on whether the new hotel might be progressing?
I have not heard back from Judy Wenzel. We did reach out, so still waiting for an update on what is going on there and how we can be of assistance. Also, still waiting, right now waiting for Rob helping to get back from vacation to make some progress on the water line issue for Stivers. I think we have enough information now for description for him to get working on drafts of a resolution to bring to the town, the school, and the county
For the water.
for the water line. So when he gets back, I've sent him that information to look at and let me know if there is any additional detail that he still needs. Otherwise, presumably, he would be able to get started on the resolutions, and then we can start taking those around to the boards to get approval.
Anything else? Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
A second? We got a second?
Second.
All in favor of adjournment? Aye. Any opposed? Thank you.